All right, guys, 1 minute, keep going. All right, 20 seconds. Ten seconds. 3, 2, 1. Let's take it out, guys. Coach Jim here. We are progressing again this week on top of what we did last week, where we hit a tempo interval followed by standing intervals, followed by tempo, standing, tempo, standing. So we're up to 2 minutes for a standing interval. If you haven't done this one before, it's great technique work, great power work, great strength work, great resiliency work. But it's pretty much one long effort after this brief warm-up. Let's get ready to turn those glutes on. Start working those prime mover muscles. You guys got a feel for it over the last couple of weeks, so it should be no stranger. You should be no stranger to this workout. It's a good one. All our people doing Coeur d'Alene this weekend. They're not on this ride right now, but it's a great workout for those guys. You're just totally grinding up and over the hills, stay on the pedals, get right back into that tempo. I don't expect one of those guys who've been on these rides regularly to take their foot off the gas for 1 second on that bike and then have a smoking fast run off of the bike, or else I don't invite them back on the ride. Very demanding coach over here. Results, or you go, or you're out. Right, Kuno? Throw you down to the B team. All right, so we got about a minute left here in this easy warm-up. Then we're going to build it up to 70%, keeping that cadence in the 80s for 2 minutes. We'll go up to 80%. Cadence stays in the 80s for 2 minutes. Back it down, recover, then we'll get into the main set. And it is hot. It's over 100 yesterday. It's going to be over 100 again today over here. Crank up the heat, baby. I love it. Gonna race in it, you got to get used to it. You just got to stay on top of the hydration, stay top on those stay on top of those calories, keep those fans cranked up. Let's finish this one strong. So we stay mindful, just like we did on Tuesday. We take it one effort at a time, never getting ahead of ourselves. So in 10 seconds, let's up at the 70% effort, keeping that cadence in the 80s. 3, 2, 1. Let's drive our knees in order to keep that cadence in the 80s. Relax that lower leg right from the start. One of the big focuses in this workout is keeping that weight back on the saddle. Whether you're seated in the saddle or you're standing, you're always keeping that weight back over that bottom bracket. So think about that now. Think about that stability on the saddle at this lower power output. You guys can sit up and feel that weight on the saddle. Feel yourself drive those knees using that saddle as stability. Shake out those arms. And when you're ready, you can go back onto the bars, keeping that weight back on the saddle, very light. grip on that base bar. So that's always a good reminder. Is my weight truly back? Sit up for a second, feel that weight back. Watch those knees straight up and down, then right back on the saddle with that weight back. So let's go up to the 80% effort in 10 seconds. Keep that cadence right there. 3, 2, 1. Drive your knees. Keep the cadence in the 80s. In order to do so, you got to drive with a little more power. Don't tense up that lower leg. Keep floating that knee up on the back of the pedal stroke. Releasing that hip flexor. Focus on that full pedal stroke with your left leg. Drive the pedal with the knee. Float the knee up. Toes to the top, heel down, pull that heel under. Unweight your foot up. Left side focus. Same thing on the right side. Focus on the knee, then move down to the lower leg of the foot. Smooth, efficient pedaling. As we stand, we get out of the saddle. As you guys have seen the last couple weeks, if that lower leg is flexed, if there's any tension, you get clicking in that pedal stroke, and it really shows up when you stand. You need to relax that lower leg, and you'll feel it. Five seconds. 3, 2, 1, and spin it out, guys. 3 minutes, nice and easy. Keep your legs moving. Let me know when the base store is open till. I forget to order our kits. I don't know. Is it closed? Oh, okay, it's closed. Who knew? I just got an email asking me when it closed, and I said, I actually have no idea. People are getting all the gear that Granish set up from that store, loving it. So nice work to her. Thanks, Meg. Every day I'm getting feedback that it's great stuff. I know where Granish is. Where's she at? Oh yeah, she's going to Coeur. No, wait, she's not going to Coeur d'Alene. Where is she? Come on, girl. Probably going back to Disneyland. All right, so we're going to get in the main set here. The rest of the workout is the main set. So we're going to hit 3 minutes of tempo, 2 minutes standing, low cadence, 90% effort. 4 minutes of tempo, 2 minutes standing, 5 minutes of tempo, 2 minutes standing. And we'll repeat that pattern. Every 3 tempo efforts, we go up in percentage effort. So we start at 80%, second round's 85%, third round's 87%. And our standing efforts are always 90%. Last week, we did 1 minute and 30 standing. This week, we're at 2 minutes. As soon as you start to feel that stress transfer to the front of the leg. Probably leaning forward a little too much. And I've been reading some great feedback in the comments you guys have been leaving in the workouts, telling me, hey, yeah, I really felt the glutes in the first half. And then I started feeling the quads and the knees and the shins. And I realized I was leaning forward as I fatigued. So I fixed it and I started hovering over that saddle, really bringing those glutes back again. And I re-engaged the posterior chain. But it takes mindfulness, guys. All right, here we go. 15 seconds. We got 3 minutes at 80% coming up. Cadence 80 to 90. It's where we just ended off our last 2 minutes of warm up. Here we go. 2, 1. Let's settle in at this percentage. If you're on your TT bike, you can move in and out of that TT position. Like Emily says here in the comments, make sure you curl your hips under you. Don't allow for that forward tilt of the pelvis, which causes the sway in the lower back. The lower back should be neutral spine. Goes for swimming, biking, running, sitting on your ass. Never let that pelvis tilt forward. That sway in the lower back gives you that lumbar spine issues. Good. So we're finding our groove at 80%. Shouldn't be that difficult. About our half Ironman race pace. So as you warm up and that heart warms up, let's pay attention to where the heart rate is in relation to the power and how that effort feels. Focus on that right hip flexor, release the right hip flexor, float the knee up. Nice and relaxed in the front of the leg as that foot floats up. Let's move over to the left hip flexor, same thing. Release that hip. All right, 15 seconds. We're out of the saddle for 2 minutes. Cadence comes down into the 60s, maybe even the 50s. 5, 3, 2, 1. Slow your feet, everybody up. Keep that glutes back over the saddle. Very light touch on the bars because your weight is back. Now think about that relaxation up once again in the hip. The right hip releases as the foot floats up. Feel that saddle right below your crotch, maybe even tapping your booty every pedal stroke. Think about that left hip releasing as that foot floats up. Relax that upper body, guys. It's not only a resiliency and strength work for the bike, it's It's going to show up on your run as well. The more we can get that posterior chain working, more resiliency you're going to be gaining across all three disciplines, especially the run. So focus on the standing, getting that weight back, working that posterior chain. As soon as you feel that stress come into the front of the legs, the quads, the knees, think, reach my glutes back. If you have a knee pain, go in and out of the saddle. Keep that cadence low. You can come up for 15, 20 seconds, down, up, down. Get back into our 80% effort in the saddle. In 3, 2, 1. Bring that cadence up. Come on, guys. Drive your knees. You're pushing over the top. Four minutes at 80%. As usual, give yourself about 90 seconds to work into this effort and to loosen up after that climbing effort. And mimic that same weight back in the saddle that you just had standing. Need a reminder, sit up, wait, melt into the saddle. Watch those knees. And back on the bars with that light grip. Nice work, guys. Way to stay with it, way to stay on those pedals. What I want built into your psyche. We clear our lactate so fast. There's no reason ever to back off those pedals. You vary the amount of pressure you're putting into them. But at all times, you keep some pressure. Meg B, it's good to have you here. Meg B's here. I know there's always going to be thought stimulation. She said she's a spinner. She always has a tough time slowing those feet. Hey, you know what? Good. Means we have area for opportunity. You're going to get too confident winning all these races. Oh, I'm too good. I don't need any work anywhere. I'm just the best. I know that's what you say to yourself. Just stare at all your first place medals all day. But then I see you slow your feet down and I say, well, we got major area of opportunity to make some gains. Just because you win every race, Meg, doesn't mean that you're the best ever. Come on, I'll make you the best ever. But we got to work those weaknesses, guys. Good, you should be settled into this 80%, cadence in the 80s. Let's release that lower leg, left leg, right leg. Keep it relaxed. Second half of this workout, it's a recipe for calf cramping. If you're letting that lower leg turn on and move this mass of your body. Keep it relaxed and keep that cramp at bay. And you're not something that you think about when it starts to happen. You got to think about it now so it doesn't happen. 3, 2, standing. Let's go. 90%, slow your feet. So think about driving with the knee. Drive the pedal down. Pedals attached to the knee. Lower leg is fluid, relaxed. Release your ankle. Keep that nice neutral spine. Don't let that pelvis tilt forward. Keep it curled under you. As you drive those knees, letting that lower leg relax. Everybody focus on that left leg. Release your calf. Same thing on the right leg. Release that right calf. Let that ankle move as it should. Good, 10 seconds, we're back in the saddle. Crank your knees. In 3, 2, 1. Let's go, guys. Drive your knees. Back in the saddle, bring that cadence in the 80s. Come on. Five minutes at 80%. Find your groove over this first 90 seconds. Focus on driving those knees. "21 minutes in, you should take a gel. Make sure you wash that gel down with water. So it's crucial that just because you're fresh, and you don't feel too beat up, that we stay completely dialed into how you're moving in the first half of a workout like this. Because in the back half, when that load really accumulates and the fatigue accumulates, if you're pedaling, wasting energy, stressing the wrong muscles now, it's going to show up in the back half of this workout and you're really going to struggle. If we stay efficient when you're fresh and you feel good, you're saving that much more energy for when the going gets really tough. We're going to keep building the effort at this tempo. Robbie did the workout early in Chicago. And he just commented on it. He said, "I definitely wasn't ready for this one today. I had only about 6 hours of sleep." Wait a minute, is that only 6 hours of sleep? If I could get 6 hours of sleep, I feel like I was on vacation. Worked late, legs were heavy, body felt off. Really struggled the second half of the workout. So knowing he wasn't firing on all cylinders, that first half of the workout had to be totally dialed. Lower leg relaxed, driving from the knees. Knees straight up and down. Ankle released. Efficient, smooth pedal stroke. Weight back in the saddle. Upper body relaxed. Hips curled under you. But just like fatigue on race day, or sorry, stress on race day, fatigue going into a workout takes away from that mental focus if you're not totally dialed. So recognizing Robbie was going into the workout fatigued, he should have overemphasized that technique. So he's going to need an earful later when I call him and yell at him. All right, so we're settled in. Focused on that knee drive, driving them down, floating them up. You feel those glutes fire every time you drop that heel at the front. Feel those hips relax every time that knee floats up. Let's get out of the saddle here in 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Slow your feet, bring that weight back. All right, think about driving the left heel down, left knee down. Float the right knee up. Relax the right hip. Keep that weight back, guys. Over the saddle, slow your feet for a little more control. For a little more feel of the glutes, of that pedal stroke. Slow your feet. And if you just can't slow them enough, hit the up arrow a couple times. Add a little more load to the pedal stroke to help you really feel that resistance as you stand. Andres, relax the upper body. You're leaning way too far forward. There you go. Think about the right heel down. Float your left foot up. Matthew, relax that upper body. Bring that weight back. There you go, Matt. Good. We're not using our front end as a stability point. We're not leaning on that front end, letting those shoulders eat our ears like this. The stability comes from here, the core, not from this. Slow your feet into the 60s, maybe the 50s, guys. Challenge that strength. With 3 minutes at 85% coming up. In 3, 2, 1. In the saddle. Come on, weight back. Drive your knees. All right, left heel down. Float your right foot up. Left knee drives down, right knee floats up. Cadence in the 80s. Right knee drives down, left knee floats up. Focus on dropping that heel down as the knee drives down, unweighting that foot as the knee floats up. So Lynn said she has a tough time going from standing, pushing over the top back to tempo pace, tempo cadence. Don't be in a rush. Obviously with ERG on, it puts the power up right, or power right where we need it right away, which is good because it's building into your muscle memory to get that power, stay on those pedals, and doesn't let you back it off. But regarding cadence, give your body the time to bring the cadence up on its own. Don't think you need to pin it into the 80s right away. Let's stand in 2, 1, bring the cadence down. And then like we talked about on Tuesday, like Emily said there, focus on releasing that hip and floating your feet, your knee up as you come over the top and work back into that tempo effort. A lot of times you sit down and you try to force it, tense up the back of that pedal stroke, yank on those pedals, and that's not helping you bring that cadence up. So weight back, guys, come on. Keep the stress off the front end, Massey. Relax your shoulders. Good, Laura. Great workout for Laura. Had a couple IT band issues. Working the glute strength, taking the stress off that IT band. Like I said, it's great for spiking, but it's an amazing workout for running as well, if you do it right. Keep the weight back, drop the heel, float that opposite foot up as you drop the heel, left foot, right foot. Ten seconds. 85% for 4 minutes in 3, 2, 1. Now sit down, focus on floating your knees up. And over the course of this first 90 seconds, give yourself the time to ease into that 80 to 90 cadence. But focus on floating those knees up, relaxing the hip, releasing your feet. Be patient with it. And that's what I mean when I say give yourself 60 to 90 seconds. Power is there. Let the body build into the cadence. Keep floating those knees up. And you got to stay relaxed in the upper body, relaxed breathing. Big deep breaths. Should be seeing that cadence slowly come up. If you're in the 80s, let's hold it there. Keep that weight back on the saddle, good stability. Check in on your knees. Left knee straight up and down. Load it up, drive it down. Don't let it knock into the top tube. Right knee, same thing. So many issues stem from those tight hips. The more you can focus on releasing and relaxing those hips, the more those subsequent issues will settle down. IT band, adductor, knee pain, lower back pain. So once again, on the left side, focus on relaxing that left hip flexor. Float your foot up, float your knee up, relax the left hip. Move over to the right hip, same thing. Ingrain this into your proprioception. That hip never turns on. Big deep breaths. Breathe into those hip flexors. Let's get out of the saddle again here. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Bring that weight back. Feel that saddle, tap your ass. Every pedal stroke. Should be able to shake your left arm out. Shake your right arm out. Because that grip on the bar is so light. You don't even need it there. It's adding a little bit of help with your balance. That core belly button sucked into your spine. Glutes are turning on and all that weight is over the bottom bracket. Go ahead, Emily, do it. Do shoulder mobility work. Emily's miming over there. There you go, Gabe. Good. Gabe's got it. Good, guys. You guys are looking good. That weight's staying back. I see upper body relaxation. Slow your feet. Challenge yourself. My cadence right now is 59. Five seconds. Back in the saddle. 2, 1. Let's go, guys. %85 for 5 minutes. Use the first 2 minutes. Get that cadence into the 80s. Float those feet up, drive that opposite heel down. Put the knee up, drive the opposite knee down. Bounce between left and right. Good. How's that heart rate looking? 85%. Good. It's up. Seeing that we're up and down. Should be a little higher than your typical 85% heart rate. Still building that cadence into the 80s. No rush to get there. All right, I want to add a little more foot speed by driving your knees. Let's bring your cadence 90 to 95 in 2, 1. Let's go. Come on, drive your knees, relax that lower leg, relax your calf. Keep that weight back. You know, if your upper body's moving around a ton, the weight's not back on the saddle. Nice and stable on that saddle. Upper body should be quiet. Once again, float the knee up, drive the opposite knee down. Bring our cadence back into the 80s in 3, 2, 1. Slow your feet slightly. Keep it in that 80 to 90 range. Jahan asks, what does it feel like when your hip is on versus when your hip is off? Your hip is on, you feel all of this flexed from here, mid-leg, all the way into lower abs. Just for the fun of it, I want you guys to yank up on the pedals here for 10 seconds. Really yank your knee up, yank your foot up, and feel that flex in the hip as you do. Yank, yank, yank. Come on. Now relax, float your knee up, unweight your foot, and you should feel the difference. It's a total relaxation of the front of that hip. In order to do it right, overdo doing it wrong for a brief stint, so you can really feel what it is to do it right. Ten seconds out of the saddle. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Good, guys. Slow those feet. Keep those hips relaxed, weight back. No leaning on that base bar. Light grip on your bars. Good. Where's that weight distribution, guys? Nothing is over the front end. Shoulders are relaxed. Soften your elbows, wiggle your fingers. Shake that left arm out. Shake your right arm out. Float those knees up in the back. Drive them down in the front. Ten seconds. Going up to 87% for 3 minutes. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Drive your knees. Come on. Good, guys. Very nice. Now, do it wrong to do it right. Everybody knock your knees into the top tube. Feel the top tube, rub your knees. Every pedal stroke. Now straighten out your knees. And feel the stress move back into the glutes. Comes off the adductors. Hips can release again. Because if your knee's knocking in, the hip is so elongated, it's turning on. So we keep our knees straight. Keep those hip flexors turned off because there's less tension on them. We can really get into those glutes. Good, so we're settled in. Guys are still looking relaxed. Focus on that knee drive. Drive the knees down, drop the heels. Three, 2, 1, out of the saddle, come on. Drive the knees down, drop the heels. As you're doing that, the weight stays back. Good neutral spine. Maybe a good way to visualize this is if you're really attacking a downhill, a straight, wide open downhill at maybe a 2% grade. You go too far forward, you're going to get all squirrely. The weight has to stay back, but you can put a ton of weight into those pedals. So visualize yourself going downhill, pushing a big gear, even your body position. Mimic that. Upper body's relaxed. Weight is back. Drive the heel down. Release the hip up. Feel that saddle touch your booty. Every pedal stroke. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 87%. 4 minutes, come on. Give yourself time. Think about that left foot. Unweighted up, toes through the top. Left foot focus. Focus on the little things, guys. As you fatigue, float that left foot up. Move the toes through the top. Knee floats up and forward. Left side. Over to the right side. Float the knee up, float it forward. Unweight that foot. Bring those toes through the top. Right foot focus. We'll go to the left side again. Float the foot up. Move those toes through the top. Cadence should be in the 80s by now. Back to the right side. Float the knee up. Toes to the top. Hip stays relaxed. Weight stays back. Big deep breaths. Stay on that right side. Both knees up in unison. Left, right. Bring those toes through the top. Maybe you'll see that cadence come up a tick as you focus on left, right. Floating up and driving through the top. Keep that same focus as we go into our climb, our stand here in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Unweight those knees up, toes through the top. Focus on the left side. Both the knee up and forward. Weight back. Focus on the right side. Both the knee up and forward. Stay on that right knee, right foot. Back to the left side, same thing. Release your hip. Keep that weight over the saddle, guys. I know it hurts. Working that glute resiliency. Over to the right side, float it up and forward. Keep that weight off the front end. 10 seconds. Five minutes at 85% and 2, 1 in the saddle. Come on. Take it 1 minute at a time. Let's ride 1 minute to the next. Focus, guys. Come on. Good, guys. Back to driving those knees down, dropping your heel. Really great answers to Pam's questions, guys. Question. Is it realistic to do this without the quads burning? If that glutes are strong, like Leslie says, the core is engaged, you have smooth pedal strokes, you shouldn't feel those quads one bit. Using myself as an example, because I can't feel for you guys. I don't have 1 ounce of quad stress as I go through this workout. But Alicia says, it just takes time and focus and doing it right. And when the going gets tough, not just letting up on the focus and saying, oh, well, it's extra focus. Drive the knee down, drop the heel. Float that opposite side up. Keep that weight back. Stress off the front end. Like Emily says here, you got to do some work off the bike too, to teach those glutes how to fire. Keep a mini band next to your bike. Like Emily says, do a little warm up, jump off, do some squats with the mini band around your knees, some clamshells, jump back on and know the feeling of that glute engagement. Good, guys. Finish it off 1 minute at a time. Either break it down further. 30 seconds at a time. Big deep breaths. Relax the upper body. Release the calf. Wiggle your toes. Good stability on the saddle. Three, two, one. Slow your feet out of the saddle. Like Emily said, everything's a work in progress. I think Pam asked the question a few weeks ago. When does adaptation take place? How long? My answer is infinity. Adaptation never stops. Come on, guys, finish it off with perfect pedaling, perfect execution for this last 80 seconds. Float the knees up, drive them down, float them forward, weights back on the saddle or over the saddle. Don't get ugly now. Drop your shoulders, relax your elbows, wiggle your fingers. Feel those glutes fire every downstroke. Ten seconds. Three, two, one, and spin it out. Whoa. Amazing work, guys. As we cool down here, bring that cadence up. We read a book, I forget what book it was. We talked about a swimmer, maybe it was the interview. He'd always keep stretch cords tied up outside the pool. And if he didn't feel the right muscles being engaged as he swam, he wouldn't just put his head down and grind through the workout. you would jump out, take a set off, maybe miss a couple hundreds, whatever the set was. Do some stretch cords, feel that movement pattern, jump back into the set with that same movement pattern. We get so hasty, like, oh, I gotta get all my volume in. Be patient, do the right work, do the mindful work. So on the bike, keep a mini band right next to your bike. Do some clamshells, do some squats with that mini band to fire those glutes. And if throughout a workout, you're feeling the glutes turn off and all this front end turn on, jump off the bike for a minute or two. Do some glute engagement, some bridges with the band around your knees, some things that engage those glutes. Get back on with that glute feeling. I'm not saying take 30 minutes off. It should take 30 seconds, a minute, minute and a half to get that feel. Jump back on with that same glute engagement. So don't be in such a rush to get every point of TSS out of it if it's getting ugly. Be patient, do the right work, and if you need to slow it down and remind yourself what you should be doing or what you should be working, let's make the smart decision. So let's have a safe weekend. Like I said, we got about 25 athletes in Coeur d'Alene. So let's send some positive vibes their way. I'm sure there's other races happening. So any other races happening this weekend, make sure you're tuned in to your teammates, giving them a pat on the back or a thumbs up or a like, because you're as much part of their success as they are. Holding each other accountable, pushing each other to that next level, having fun on and off the bike in our meetings. It's all part of it, guys. So thank you for all you guys do to build this team, build the community, and let's support each other when the money's on the line. So have some fun supporting your teammates. Be safe this weekend, whether you're swimming, biking, or running. I'll see you guys next week. Amazing work. Go get recovered, take your protein, get on that foam roller, anything's tight, roll it out, and work that glute engagement. Bye, guys. Love you.